Well. World-class veteran video game critic Michael Does Life. Oh, Michael.
Do you remember how you got here? You've lost your capacity to discern reality from fiction. What's real is here and now. Anything else is just your mind playing tricks on you. It becomes a problem when fantasies endanger us. We don't want anyone to get hurt, do we?
Never got the job for it. We don't have to play ball with reviews and their mentality. Some people in here just need to wake up and smell that fucking coffee. Not a hater. This is a timeline. It's over.
Find yourself and see. It's the only way you will know who we really are.
Elden Ring is a terrible game. Elden Ring is a terrible game. They shill that shit on Reddit. Elden Ring is a terrible game. Elden Ring is a terrible game. They shill that shit on Reddit.
I need a gangsta bitch.
I need a gangsta bitch.
I wanna whip my. I need
Let's get it, baby.
I need a gangsta bitch. I want a gangsta bitch. Yo. I wanna whip my. I need a gangsta bitch. She don't sleep and she don't play.
Folks at home, we are out here. The reality of the situation, of course, Saints Row fans will know that song, okay? Let's just put that out there. Saints Row fans, you know that song, okay? Let's just put that out there because it is over, folks. And, you know, I was trying to hold out hope for Saints Row. We haven't really discussed Saints Row on the channel here because I was holding out hope. I was thinking that, you know, let's give it a shot. Let's see if it's really going to be fantastic or if it's going to be terrible or what have you. But, you know, I just can't. I can't. You know, I just can't. So we have to come out of the woodwork, and we have to pull the curtain back because no one else is willing to. Literally, no one is talking about what we're about to talk about here with Saints Row, and it is very concerning. So we had to come out of the woodwork, and we had to say that, well, what we're going to talk about here today, Saints Row is oh, Lord. Oh, my God, folks. Let's get it, baby. Holy shit.
L donated $19.99 through Super Chat. As an employee of the Embracer Group, I can confirm what Mackle says, whatever Mackle is saying.
That's what we're talking about. Hell yeah, brother. We appreciate you, L, coming through with the $20 Super Chat. Let's get a W in that dead chat for L. Because that's not an L, it's a W, folks. It's a W coming through, popping the cherry in a way that makes sense. Hell yeah, brother. We appreciate the kind generosity. Let's get a W in that dead chat, folks. We're going to talk about Saints Row. And, you know, like I said, we just can't hold back anymore. I was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, but at this point, it's too late. It's too late to go in with expectations that are anywhere near positive, to be totally frank. And, I hate to be a Debbie Downer out here yet again, but it is not where it needs to be. Let's just put it that way, Saints Row. And we're going to dissect why here as we wait for people to pile in. But Saints Row is coming out very soon. Let's go ahead and open up the notepad here, folks, and jump right into it. So let's pull up the notepad here so we can give you the reality of the Saints Row situation here. And we're going to pull this up here, folks. Again, if you're just tuning in, we're going to be dissecting Saints Row. We're going to be dissecting Saints Row here in just a moment. And this is the problem with Saints Row here, folks. I'll tell you this right here and right now, okay? This is the problem with Saints Row. First of all, we need bigger font on this here. What are we doing? Come on. Work for daddy. There we go. All right. Saints Row 2022. 2022. Okay. Now, here's the problem with the game right here. Okay, look. No one is talking about this. I need you guys to start listening because I know that's a little bit difficult over here. It is for me, believe me. I went through high school. I didn't listen at all, yet I graduated. Don't know how that happened. But here's the thing, folks. Saints Row 2022. No one is talking about this. It's a major problem, okay? Huge problem for Saints Row. And no one, literally no one on this planet is talking about this. Okay? Saints Row 2022 comes out in 6 days, okay? Let's give you the context right here. Saints Row 2022 comes out in 6 days as of this show, from what I can understand. Saints Row 2022 comes out in 6 days. Now, why I'm mentioning this is because zero gameplay of Saints Row running on PS4 and Xbox One. Okay, now look at this right here. This is unbelievable. Can you guys see this? Saints Row 2022 comes out in 6 days. Okay, literally 6 days away. There is zero gameplay of Saints Row running on PS4 and Xbox One. Now, they did put out a demo where you can create your character, but that doesn't count because there's no gameplay there. There's no game there. It's just create your character. We have not seen Saints Row 2022 running on PS4 and Xbox One. Now, I know what the defenders are going to say. They're going to sit there and say, well, Michael, we don't need to see gameplay because, well, we've already played Saints Row 4 and Saints Row the Third on those old consoles. Yeah, but those games are old. Times have changed. The hardware gets significantly worse as time progresses. And we're not saying that this is ultimately going to be another Cyberpunk. But the fact of the matter is, folks, 6 days from launch, okay? 6 days from launch, zero gameplay of Saints Row running on PS4 and Xbox One. Literally zero gameplay, that I have found anyway, of this game running on those consoles. Because all of the gameplay out right now is either from a high-end PC, from what I can tell. Or I would assume a next-gen console, PS5 and Xbox Series X. So Saints Row 2022 comes out in 6 days, literally less than a week, folks, okay? The gaming industry is dead. It's dry season all across the board. If you're just tuning in, folks, we're dissecting Saints Row 2022, okay? And this is a huge one right here. Saints Row 2022 comes out in 6 days. As of this show, there's zero gameplay of Saints Row running on PS4 and Xbox One. Now, we've been through this with Dying Light 2 and a bunch of other games, but it's never come down to this close to release, and there is literally zero gameplay of Saints Row running on PS4 and Xbox One. And how you can sit there and defend that, and how you can sit there and say, well, it doesn't matter because I'm privileged, that doesn't mean shit. Because millions of people are still stuck with PS4 and Xbox One. It's still tricky to find a PS5 no matter where you're at, and that's just the fact. So unless you have, a great PC rig or what have you, then you're more than likely going to be stuck with the old version of Saints Row. Okay, and again, I'm not saying that this is set in stone, that the game is going to run like shit on PS4 and Xbox One. However, with that said, there is no gameplay, okay? And it comes out in 6 days. Literally, the game comes out in 6 days. There is zero gameplay of this game running on base PS4 and Xbox One. So I don't know why we're dismissing this. Literally, no one is bringing this up, and I think it's a massive issue. Now, again, people are going to sit there and say, well, why would it matter? Saints Row Get Out of Hell ran just fine on PS4. Saints Row the Re-Election 4 ran just fine on PS4 and Xbox One. Saints Row the Third ran just fine on PS4 and Xbox One. And yet, that is the case, but those games were developed for those consoles. And, maybe this is the case for Saints Row 2022 as well. Obviously, it was in development for multiple years, for at least a couple of years, I'm assuming. I'm hoping. And times have changed. The hardware for the PS4 and Xbox One is significantly showing its age, and it's so incredibly sad. It really is so incredibly sad. So again, Saints Row comes out in 6 days, okay? The hardware isn't getting stronger for PS4 and Xbox One. So, those older games might have been just fine, but if you look at the gameplay that's already out, the game's running on high-end PC and stuff of that nature. We have no gameplay outside of that character creation demo of Saints Row running on PS4 and Xbox One. So is this going to be another Cyberpunk situation? Because I don't know what engine this is running on. It might be a whole new engine. And if that's the case, and I'm not saying it is, but if that is the certain reality for the new Saints Row reboot here, then that is concerning. If that is the case, I don't know what engine this is running on. It could very well be the same engine as Saints Row 4, what have you. But look, this is just the first one here, okay? And that's the big one. That's the big one. We're literally 6 days from launch, okay? There's zero gameplay. Now, you add in this, okay? The review embargo for Saints Row is not up until 24 hours before release, okay? So you factor in these three things here, and it is looking to be like another Cyberpunk situation. You factor in these three things here, and we could have another Cyberpunk on our hands. Now, the difference with Cyberpunk is that people cared about that game. People cared about CD Projekt Red, and they had faith in CD Projekt Red, and they thought CD Projekt Red, they thought they were impeccable, and they thought they were immaculate, perfectionists, and they fumbled the football, and no one expected that, to be totally frank. They didn't expect it, at least in that way, for CD Projekt Red to fumble the Cyberpunk 2077 football, okay? That's the reality of the situation. So, while Saints Row isn't on that level in terms of popularity, you also have to factor in the dry season that we're in, okay? There's literally nothing to play outside of a bunch of stupid indie games or a bunch of fucking multiplayer games that are Fortnite clones. That's where we're at. So when this comes out next week in 6 days, a lot of gamers are going to buy this because they have nothing else to play. A lot of gamers are going to buy this because they have nothing else to play, especially if it scores high. Especially if it scores high. But do we know if we're going to get reviews of this game on PS4 and on Xbox One day one? I don't necessarily think that's going to be the case. And again, the review embargo is not up until 24 hours before release. So no one is going to be able to talk. People have this game already. I doubt they have it on PS4 or Xbox One. I could be wrong. I don't know. I just don't know. But what I do know is that they sent out the Saints Row for PC, the preview build. And, obviously they're going to send it out on the highest end hardware that they possibly can because they don't want to show this game off on those older consoles, and they haven't. There's literally zero gameplay of this game running on PS4 and Xbox One outside of the character creator demo that is available for PS4 and Xbox One. But you have to understand there is zero open world gameplay for Saints Row, and the game comes out in 6 days. Now, if we were talking about this 2 months before release, then it wouldn't be a problem. But when you're talking about this 6 days before release and there is zero gameplay of this game running on PS4 and Xbox One, that is a let's slam the brakes on moment and let's ask what is going on. Okay, because that's where we're at with this. Now, I know no one cares, but you're going to have to start caring. Because if you don't care, the industry is going to continue to go in this direction, okay? And that's sad. Because time and time again, the Cyberpunk situation just keeps happening. Not to the same extremity, but it keeps happening. And no one wants to wake up. No one wants to, come out of the woodwork and say, hey, this isn't where it needs to be. Because the problem here is that you have a bunch of QVC influencers. QVC was very popular back in the 90s and shit, right? Okay, there's a lot of people on YouTube that just play QVC. That's what they do. They literally are they're marketing for these third-party PR firms and what have you. And that's all they do. And they don't want to hurt their brand. They don't want to hurt their reputation. They want to play goody two-shoe so they can get accepted and validated within this gaming industry. And, as such, they don't have a real opinion. They can't share their real opinion. And, that's why we come out of the woodwork. We stick our neck out and we say, hey, wait a minute, this isn't maybe where it needs to be. And that's why we're dissecting this right now. Again, 6 days until Saints Row 2022, okay? 6 days until Saints Row 2022. Zero gameplay. Literally zero gameplay of Saints Row running on PS4 and Xbox One. And that is concerning because, again, you cannot go into a store and pick up a PS5. It just isn't readily available. It's still very tricky to find a PS5. It's still very tricky to find a Series X. And that is weird because it's almost been 2 years since those consoles came out. And by the time you're able to find them in the store shelves, they're going to be very obsolete. So, it's just the way the thing is. But so as such, people are going to be stuck with PS4 and Xbox One. They want to maybe check Saints Row out because there's nothing else out there to play. There's literally nothing else out there to play. And then again, you have to factor in the review embargo is not up until 24 hours before release. And again, is the review embargo going to cover the base Xbox One and base PS4 versions? I sincerely doubt that. Now, I don't know if that's not, maybe that isn't going to be a problem. But if the reviews come out and it's only for PS5 and PC and Series X and what have you, then ultimately at the end of the day, that is that's another Cyberpunk situation where Cyberpunk came out and they said, okay, PC players, you can review this, you're going to love it, and this, that, and the third. And everyone, said game of the year, game of the generation, Cyberpunk 10 out of 10 on PC. And then along comes this console version that they kind of swept under the rug because they damn well knew that it was going to affect the overall image of the product. And, that's just the way this whole system works is, they don't want the negative to come out. That's why there's no demos anymore. If you were to put out a demo, if I had a game company, we would not be releasing a demo. Let me just put it to you that way. Absolutely not. You're not getting a demo because the culture has changed. And, whether or not the game is good or bad, you don't want people to have those, you want to control who has a say on your product before the game comes out because that's going to potentially influence the purchases. That's how this is all working. It's been working this way for a long, long time, decades, literally. And it's only getting worse because of all of the social influencers that don't even play video games and just make content and use it as a vehicle to do whatever they want to do, which is sad. But the real gamers are left in the dust as such. So you have a bunch of QVC influencers hey, they gave me a free guitar. Gibson did. I can't say anything bad about it because Gibson's not going to contact me again. That's what it's like. That's really what it boils down to. And I'm not saying all reviewers are dishonest and disingenuous. But again, if they came to me and said, hey, Michael, do you want to review Saints Row? I'd have to shut my mouth right now. So in a way, they would have control over me if I accepted that. They would have control over when I can talk about it. And, obviously there would be some pressure there in the sense that okay, they gave me an early copy of this game right here. Do I really want to be critical of it? Because if I'm critical of it, brutally critical of it or what have you, they're not going to roll the red carpet out for me again. And that's where a lot of YouTubers stand. They're playing for validation. They're playing for approval. That's what they're doing. Okay, that's what they're doing. And again, we're not saying every YouTuber is disingenuous, but if you're getting early copies and you're getting early access, I don't watch your channel. It's as simple as that. Not watching it because I already know how that game works. I got review copies before, and I've been in that world. But getting back to Saints Row here, comes out in 6 days, guys. Okay, literally just 6 days. Let's highlight this right here. Saints Row 2022 comes out in 6 days. Literally zero gameplay of Saints Row 2022 running on PS4 and Xbox One. Of course, they have the character creation demo, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about open world gameplay. How does this game run and perform on the PS4 and Xbox One? Millions of gamers are still stuck with that. Those consoles, older consoles, and as such, that is a very crucial, important factor for millions of gamers, potentially. The review embargo for Saints Row is not up until 24 hours before release. Now, am I saying that this is, the end-all, be-all for Saints Row 2022? No. We just don't know where it's going to ultimately land. But, there's plenty of gameplay out there. And speaking of gameplay, let me pull up this clip that I found. It is... Let me just pull up this clip right here. Let's see if we can pull it up in a way that makes sense. And I'll tell you what, folks, this is unbelievably. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So we're going to pull this gameplay clip up of Saints Row 2022, folks at home, when we can find it here. And let me just say Chromecap might be returning. Chromecap might be returning for Saints Row. I think this is a game where he might come out of the woodwork, and you guys know who Chromecap is. He, compares the new games to the old games and what have you. And I think this is going to be one of those games where Chromecap comes out of the woodwork and starts to compare, okay, Saints Row to the first game or even the second game. You know, the second game's old. First game's obviously even older. But, you know, if those games are holding up better than this new stuff that's coming out, then I don't know what we're doing. You know what I mean? I really don't understand this industry. I don't know what, I just don't get it. It takes 5 million years to put out one game, and then when it comes out, it's backwards. Everything's backwards. I don't understand why we're going backwards. We have more memory bandwidth than ever. Okay, I'm not trying to play engineer out here, but I know the tools are better now than ever before. That is literally a fact. The tools are better now than ever before. Things are more efficient. You have more memory to play around with. So what are we doing? Why are we increasing the resolution? Why are we pandering to the fucking digital foundry killed gaming? Literally. Because now they have fostered a community, a very big one, of gamers that don't even give a shit about fucking AI or, gameplay mechanics, the framework. They don't give a shit about any of that. What they care about is the fucking frames per second and the resolution and fidelity mode and performance mode. Who fucking cares? Let's get sexy with gameplay mechanics, okay? Let's get sexy with gameplay mechanics. Fuck the resolution, put it at 1080-60 and call it a day. We don't need 4K. Stop trying to push TVs. That's what Sony's in. They love to sell their televisions. It's all a fucking big thing. That's what it is. It's all a fucking... This industry is... Oh, my God. Like, I'm getting worked up out here just talking about it because it never fucking ends, man. It never fucking ends. So let me pull up this clip here in a moment. We were going to do that, but forgot. Let's pull up this clip right here, folks, and this is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Again, this is from the new Saints Row, coming out in 6 days. Look at this right here. I put it up on my Twitter. Let's full screen this right here. Oh, my God. Now, look, I get it. It's Saints Row. It's not supposed to be 100% realistic. That's not what they're going for. But I don't think that looks right, okay? There's no collusion. Oh, my God. Come on, bro. In the first Saints Row game, I'm pretty positive that when you stand in front of the train, there's ragdoll physics that come into play. In this game, that's what happens, at least in that circumstance. You've got to be kidding. Like, you literally have to be kidding. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And again, this is probably from the PC version or, at least the next-gen versions. We have zero gameplay of this running on PS4 and Xbox One. It comes out in 6 days. Literally less than a week, folks. The review embargo is not up until 24 hours. And look at this. Come on, bro. Like, there's no way that looks good. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. It's Saints Row. You're flying around like you're fucking Superman. They got so wacky with Saints Row 3 and Saints Row 4. Saints Row 2 had the perfect blend of stupid, silly shit and sort of a grounded, like, gangsta pizzazz to it, And, of course, now, I don't even know the story. I don't even care. Like, I'm just going to put that out to you. And look, if Saints Row 2022 comes out and they got a fun playground in here and, that'll be interesting. But how long is that going to be interesting for? You know what I mean? How long is that going to be interesting for? Because if there's no depth to the city or any of the activities or anything like that, then it's not going to last too long. You know what I mean? So when I look at Saints Row 2022 here, I say, this would be a perfect game for Game Pass. I think Saints Row 2022 is really going to be... Jesus Christ!
Joseph Matz donated $5 through Super Chat. It's over.
It's over. I mean, I don't know how anyone can look at this and excuse it. Like, I get it. It's Saints Row. It's not supposed to be super realistic. But, bro, I bet you can't even derail this train. You know what I mean? Like, in the first game, you can literally derail the train. I think you could even get on it, if memory serves me correct, and there was a bunch of physics at play and this, that, and the third. When you look at Saints Row here, this is just another immovable object because, well, it takes way too much work on how to figure all of that out. I'm assuming that's why that's, and I get it. Like, this isn't Grand Theft Auto. It's not GTA. It doesn't have a, $500 million budget. It's obviously low budget. But is that really an excuse? Is that really an excuse, folks? Now, I found another clip, folks, where they literally take the rocket launcher out and they try and derail the train with it, and it doesn't do anything. And I don't know if this is like an early build. I'm assuming it is. Maybe this is fixed in the final version. I would hope that it would be. But when you look at this, folks, I don't understand how anyone could be excited. Considering the fact that, again, this comes out in 6 days. Like, we're not 1 week away. We're literally 6 days away until this launches. There's zero gameplay of this game running on PS4 and Xbox One. Again, you can go and download the character creator demo on PS4 and Xbox One right now, but that isn't going to give you an idea of how this game is going to run because you're not in the goddamn world. It's just one single fucking entity, and that's it. The review embargo is not up until 24 hours before release. So people are playing this right now. I already know that because you can go on Twitter and people are posting like, hey, I have this, and this is when my review is going to be up. That's how I figured out when the embargo is going to expire. But are they playing the PS4 or Xbox One version? Probably not. The likelihood of that version being reviewed day one is going to be, in my opinion, very slim. Unless they pull a major surprise. So, let me see if we can find the other clip here. I don't know if we're going to be able to find it here. Let me pull up the other clip here. And like, do you guys, how many people, let me ask you guys this right here and right now. Oh, my God. That's way too fucking loud. Jesus
Wrestling
Christ.
Face donated £5 through Super Chat. Saints low budget reboot. Sketted. It's over.
It's over. It's certainly over, folks. Let me ask you guys this. Hell yeah, brother, we appreciate that. Wrestling Face coming through with the 5. Supporting the show, keeping it afloat. With that said, folks, how many of you have played Saints Row 2? Okay? Let's be honest in here. If you haven't played it, that's okay. It is an older game. It came out, 2008? I bought it day one. Bought it day one on Xbox 360, okay? Big gamer back in the day. These days, hard to care. A lot of energy to, okay? Now, with that said, how many people have played Saints Row 2? If you have played Saints Row 2, 1 in the chat. If you haven't, 2 in the chat, okay? If you have played Saints Row 2 or 1, any of the old... Now, we're not talking about Saints Row 3 or 4. Fuck, I don't even like those games. I really don't like those games. I bought Saints Row the 3rd day 1 because I watched someone on YouTube play it, and I said, fuck it. I'm going to go out and buy it. I'm going to pretend to care. Not pretend to care, but pretend to enjoy it. Because I already knew going in that I was just trying to convince myself that it was actually... So I'm not a big fan of Saints Row 3 or 4. I think Saints Row 2 was literally the San Andreas of this whole fucking franchise. And it hasn't been as good ever since. So if you have played Saints Row 1 or 2, 1 in the chat. If you haven't, 2. If you're not going to participate, that's okay. Because every time I look, there's always a negative Nancy in here. But with that said, do you guys remember the fucking zombie minigame in Saints Row 2? Like, you have to be kidding. Oh, we're hitting the wrong button. The Saints Row 2 minigame, bro. Like, this is a minigame within the fucking game. And it was actually, like, well thought out, and it was well designed, like, waves of zombies in this, like, I forgot how you even access it. Like, it was in this, like, secret area like that shit is fucking based. You know what I mean? Like that shit is like it has that sort of homemade feel to it. Whereas you look at the new Saints Row and it just feels like a corporate entity. That's the problem with gaming today. It feels like a corporate entity. That's why I prefer TikTok over YouTube, because YouTube, it feels like a corporate entity. You have multi-million-dollar production companies on YouTube now. All of these YouTubers are filthy fucking rich. They got thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment and editing, and they hire people to do things. It's not homemade anymore. That's why I prefer TikTok, because everyone's shooting fucking videos from their phone. You're getting the homemade feel. And when you play a game like Saints Row 2, you have sort of that, I don't know if this even makes sense, but you have that homemade feel where you could just like visualize the developers, the team of people that put this together because they actually enjoyed what they fucking did. Now it just feels like we're doing this because we're going through the motions, we're listening to the higher ups, and we have deadlines to meet, and there's just no soul in it. There's no soul in the gaming industry anymore. And you could argue, oh, you're just getting old, you're jaded, and yeah, maybe that is the fucking case. But does this look like it has soul? Does this look like it has soul? It feels safe. It feels too clean and pristine. That's the problem with the games today. They're afraid to rock the boat. Everyone's afraid to rock the boat because you don't want to piss off the Twitter crowd. Holy shit, they'll come after you with pitchforks. Can't do that. So now they're just going to censor, and they're going to fall in line with the current landscape. Let's just put it that way. So that's what I look at. When I look at the new Saints Row here, I don't feel the soul. Like in Saints Row 2, there was like do you think there's going to be great Easter eggs in here? I mean, how many Easter eggs are they going to put in here? Are they going to have soul? Because when I look at Saints Row 2 and I remember Saints Row 2, I remember like this one Easter egg where you get in a boat, you have to go far away from the fucking map. You have to go far, I don't know how the fuck they would expect people to find this, but you have to go far away from the map, and eventually if you go out there, there's like a big, I can't remember even what it is. It's either a big fucking giant bunny that pops out, or it's like the big dragon lagoon. Like that shit is fucking based, it's Kino, it's soul. You can tell like there was a bunch of passionate gamers that sat around and said, let's make a fucking great fun video game. And the whole industry is run by fucking corporate drones. Corporate drones. And, I would love to know how many people on this new Saints Row worked on the second one? How many people are left at Volition that worked on Saints Row 2? I would love to know, because I have a feeling that it's probably very, very slim. I'm sure many of the people that worked on Saints Row 2 are no longer at Volition, if I had to guess. I could be wrong on that. Maybe I am totally off base on that. But it just feels like when you look at this and you just dissect what is going on with not only this game, but all of these games coming out in general, where is the soul? We have more, the toolbox is more accessible than ever. The toolbox is more populated with tools, okay? They have more wrenches now than ever, okay? So if you're the handyman, you go in that toolbox and you pick out a brand new wrench that isn't rusty anymore, okay? That's where the developers are. That's where the devs are at with the hardware that we have today. Obviously, the hardware that we have today is better than it was back in the day. There's no denying that. So what are we doing? Very little. We're pushing the resolution up. We're pushing the frame rate up, and that's supposed to get gamers excited. That's all this is anymore. It's not about any other thing than pushing up resolution and frame rate. Resolution and frame rate. Who fucking cares? Who cares? Now we're catering to the PC crowd. Now we're catering to the Digital Foundry community, because now they have infested Reset Era, they've infested Reddit, they've infested Twitter, and the gamers don't give it. True gamers do not give a shit about any of that. I'm going to tell you that right here, right now. Look, if you're a PC nerd, that's different, but you're on PC anyway, so that's why you're on PC, because you just want to sit around in the settings and you buy these games on Steam, you don't even fucking play them. You buy these games on Steam, you don't even play them. I know how PC gaming works because that's just what happens. People say that all the time. Oh, I bought another, I got my backlog is so huge because you don't play games. True gamers do not care about resolution or frame rate. True gamers want to sit around and fucking put this shit on and have fun. And I'm not saying that Saints Row is going to fail in that department. I think in that department, that's where the game is going to succeed. But how long is that going to be fun for? Because if we're in this Los Santos shit or whatever the hell this is called, and there's no depth to what we're doing, and everything wears off within just a few hours, then there's not going to be all that much there in terms of longevity. So, people are still playing Grand Theft Auto 5, obviously because of the online primarily, but, even the single-player campaign had its moments, and, obviously Grand Theft Auto 4, those are games that are just classic and iconic, and obviously Rockstar is very different today than they were back when they put those games out. And is Saints Row going to, because, this is huge. There's nothing else out there to play. Saints Row's coming out in 6 days, okay? If you're just tuning in, folks, looks like some people are just tuning in, okay? This is the problem that we're having with Saints Row right now. There's other problems, too, but this is the big one. No one's talking about this, okay? And I know people in here are probably going to say, oh, we don't care, Michael, because you're privileged. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But, if you're going to come from a place of privilege and say, I got a $6,000 PC rig, well, then there's no point to add anything to the conversation because, well, this doesn't apply to you. Okay? And that's great if it doesn't. But, look, Saints Row 2022 comes out in 6 days. Literally 6 days, folks. Saints Row 2022 comes out in 6 days. There is zero gameplay of Saints Row running on PS4 and Xbox One. Now, they do have the character creation demo out for PS4 and Xbox One. But we have not seen this game in the open world setting, in the open world environment, running on PS4 and Xbox One as far as I understand. Now, with that said, the review embargo is not up until 24 hours before release. It's not up until 24 hours before release. And when you look at this, bro, let me tell you right here and right now, where is the soul? Where is the soul? And what are we doing? There's no collision. The train is coming right at the dude. Or the sheen, whatever the fuck's going on with this game. You've got to be kidding me.
Joseph Matz donated $5 through Super Chat. I think ultimately they are pushing frame rate and resolution to create a better VR experience because that's where they want us to live.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, VR is not for gaming. VR is a neat little tool just like the Kinect was, but it isn't for gaming. It's not where it's going to shine. VR is going to shine in other applications, but it's not going to be gaming. Hell yeah, brother, we appreciate you. Joseph coming through. I think Sony just wants to sell their Bravia TVs or some shit. They keep pushing resolution. They keep pushing frame rate, and the gamers are excited. Like who cares about Spider-Man on PC running at 120 frames on your 3090? No one gives a shit. This is the dead-ass truth. Yeah, it'd be fucking badass if everyone had a rig like that and a setup like that. But, bro, at the end of the day, what matters and what is more sexy to me is AI advancements, okay? What is more sexy to me is adding in things that actually have meat on the fucking bone. You know what I mean? So what are we going to be doing in this playground here in Saints Row 2022, and how much depth is it going to have in Saints Row 2022? Those are the questions that we're asking right here and right now. And when you look at a clip like this, and there's no collision, when the fucking train hits the character, just throw it in the Game Pass pile. Throw it in the Game Pass pile because ultimately, at the end of the day, that's where we sit with this game. This seems like a great Game Pass game. This seems like a game that you buy on Black Friday for $20. But I don't know about spending $60 on it, especially considering the fact that, again, we have not seen any gameplay of this game in the open world running on PS4 and Xbox One. The game comes out in 6 days. The review embargo is not up until 24 hours before release. So you tell me how this is going to make any sense for those millions of gamers that are still on PS4 and Xbox One. It makes 0 sense, folks at home. It makes 0 sense. And I don't want this game to fail because I want something to fucking play. My PS5 is unplugged. My Series X is unplugged. I have nothing to play. So I'm hoping that Volition, please, let me get on my knees and I will, shut up and take my money. Let's just put it that way, okay? So that's what I need Volition to do. Sell me on this game and do so in a way that makes sense. Sell me on this game and do so in a way that makes sense. But when I see clips like this, where it's just stupidity, like they threw this thing together within 2 months, which they obviously didn't do. But come on, bro. In Saints Row 1, I'm done. You have to stop hiring lazy millennial devs. That's what you have to stop doing, okay? That's the problem with this industry. They hire lazy millennial devs time and time again. They have no work ethic. They don't want to go to the gym. Why would they want to go to the gym? That requires way too much work. So they just want to sit around and they want to feel bad and they want to say, oh, I'll lose weight tomorrow. I'll lose weight next week. No, you're never going to lose weight because you're never going to do anything. You're never going to put your foot forward and say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym because I want to start doing this in a way that actually makes sense. Who's going to hit the gym in here? How many people are actually going to commit to that? Very few, right? Because that requires work, and that's the problem with the goddamn games industry. No one wants to actually put in the work. They want to sit around at home because of COVID and use that as an excuse so they can just sit around and do nothing. Fucking browse Netflix while they're just like barely coding something in Python. Like, bitch, fix this shit. Holy hell, what are we doing? Saints Row 1 and 2 is more superior than this. Literally boot up Saints Row 2 right now. I got that sumbitch on PC. I'll boot it up tonight. And I guarantee you, when you stand in front of the train, there's like ragdoll. I don't know what the hell this is. Okay, now you could say it's a one-time bug, but, well, we're going to find out in 6 days. Stand in front of the train. I bet you can't even drive the train, dude. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely inexcusable. And people are just going to sit around and no one cares. No one cares. Why don't we care? That's why there's no quality games anymore. That's why everything's on filler pass. Everything's a subscription. That's great because I don't want to pay $60 for these games. That's why the value of these services is so impeccable and so amazing. I don't want to own these games. I don't give a shit if they turn this game off in 10 years and I can never play it again. Who fucking cares? I don't want to play it again. That's where we're at with this industry. That's where we're at with this industry. That's why I push so hard for Game Pass, and that's why I push so hard for PlayStation Plus, because you know what? I don't want to own these games. They're shit. I don't want to own these games because they're not where they need to be. And again, you look at Saints Row 2022, it comes out in 6 fucking days. There's zero gameplay of this game running on PS4 and Xbox One outside of the character creator demo. The review embargo is not up until 24 hours before release, and then you get clips like this that just look like Jesus Christ. PS1 games have more sophisticated fucking physics and, just the game engine in general working. It's mind-blowing. It is unfathomable. I'm going to try and pull up another clip because I saw something even crazier than that. But we didn't bring it, but I'm going to see if I can find this here. Like, you just have to be kidding me. You know what I mean? And mind you, this game was supposed to be out in February. Now, can you believe that? This game was supposed to come out in early February. And I was trying to hold out hope. And I said, you know what? At the end of the day, when I was covering this game last year, what have you, a little bit here and there, I said, you know what? As long as it's fun, it doesn't matter. Who cares about the woke storyline or what have you? Because I'll just skip all that shit. When I play Just Cause, do I watch the storyline cutscenes? No, I skip all of them. I don't give a shit about Rico. I don't care about what he's doing. All I want to do is blow shit up like I'm in a Michael Bay film. That's what I want to do. So if you had no story in the game, that doesn't matter to me because you're wasting resources. You're wasting resources on a story that no one gives a shit about. Okay, it's like watching a porn. Okay, do you care about the story? No, you don't. You skip right to the action. So that's the reality of the situation. That's the reality of the situation. And when it comes down to Saints Row, I don't care if they're working at Starbucks and then they want to pretend to be a gangster. I don't give a shit. I'm skipping all the cutscenes. I'm creating my own character, and I'm going to see if the framework and the nuts and bolts is where it needs to be. That's what I'm looking forward to, okay? But when you show me clips like this, and it just looks like it's not anywhere near finished, and when you also factor in that there's no gameplay for the PS4 and Xbox One versions of this game, there's zero gameplay of the open world anyway for the PS4 and Xbox One versions of this game, not to mention the review embargo is not up until 24 hours before release, I can't have any confidence in this game. I can't have any confidence in this game. And I can't trust the QVC influencers because they obviously got early access. What are they supposed to say? Oh, it's actually shit? No, they're not going to say that because that's going to burn the bridge. Duh. If your sister makes you fucking food, you don't tell her it tastes like shit because she's no longer going to make you food. That's the reality of the situation. That's what you need to know, and that's what you need to understand. And I'm not saying people are fucking lying left and right, but they're also not being totally truthful. That's the reality, because that's the game you have to play. That's the game that you have to play on this platform if you want to play QVC influencer. Otherwise you're blacklisted. I'm blacklisted now. By making this video, I am now blacklisted. Okay? That I know and that I can tell you. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to stick my neck out and say, hey, wait a minute, we got a little problem over here, okay? There's zero gameplay, comes out in 6 days. That's bullshit. Now, if it were 6 months, I'd say, okay, let's give them time. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. But when we're 6 days, ladies and gentlemen, from Saints Row 2022, you have to be kidding me, as there's zero gameplay for PS4 and Xbox One. And how that's excusable, I don't know. And it's sad. Because, again, if you don't, is this going to be another Cyberpunk situation? I don't think it will, because again, you could say, okay, Saints Row 4, Saints Row the Third, they ran well on PS4 and Xbox One. They got remastered and what have you. But this is a different timeline. Those consoles are more outdated than ever. Plus, Saints Row 3 was a PS3 and 360 generation game, and I think Saints Row 4 as well. I can't even remember. But it's kind of sad, to be totally frank, because Saints Row was always, oh my God, the marketing for Saints Row 2 was great. They had that one actor come out and say, hey, this is what you can do in this game, but you can come over here and do something a little bit more fucking fun. So they were going they had the balls to go right up against fucking Grand Theft Auto 4. Because that's who they were competing with. Now they're competing with Fortnite and all of these online service games. The industry it's over. Like, it is literally over. Because now you're subscribing. You're literally virtually, mindfully, whatever you want to call it, subscribing to ideas. That's what you're doing. You're buying into ideas. You're buying into you're just buying a marathon. You're not buying a sprint anymore. Back in the day on PS2, back in the day on GameCube, back in the day on Xbox, you'd buy a game and it was supposed to be ready day one, complete day one. These days you're buying into this like fucking marathon that just never ends. It's a 10-year game. What the fuck does that even mean? And then once the servers inevitably go offline, not that it's going to matter in 10 years because no one is going to be playing that after 1 week, but, when that inevitably happens, it's all over. You know what I mean? It's all over. So, the new Skate, for example, that's free to play. Trash. Throw it in the garbage. I don't want it no more. I don't care about Skate anymore. They fucking ruined Skate by making it free to play because now it's a service game. It's a 10-year game. That's what it is. It's on the 10-year plan cycle. Hey, we're going to launch this fucking service game called Skate. It's free to play. Jump in, and then you want to buy these skateboards, and they're $20, $30, $40, fucking $50 each. No one gives a shit. I'm out. I'm done. Because that's not, if the game is great, I will pay. It's as simple as that. If the game is great, I will pay. But if you're going to sit there and tell me we're going to throw this free-to-play fucking bullshit out and, you're going to have to, buy new skateboards and buy new whatever in the fucking game, I don't care. I'm not playing it, and I'm shutting it off, and I don't give a shit about it. That's the reality of the situation. So we need to start making great video games. Let's make gaming great again, folks at home. Okay, I need you guys to listen, okay? And I know we're having audio problems, but I'm telling you, you guys get me fired up over this shit because it's sad. It's sad where the industry is at today, and we're not the only ones with this thinking. It's not a disease over here. I don't want to hate these games. And in fact, I don't hate Saints Row 2022. How can I hate something I've never played? But when I look at it, it's quite apparent that it has problems and that it maybe, needs more time in the oven. So Saints Row 2022, again, to recap right here. Saints Row 2022 comes out in literally 6 days, folks. There is zero gameplay of Saints Row running on PS4 and Xbox One. The review embargo is not up until 24 hours before release. Literally no one is talking about this, bro. Literally zero people are talking about this, and this is very concerning. Because if you have a PS4 or an Xbox One and you want to, because there's nothing else out there to play outside of fucking Multiverse and Rumbleverse and all of this verse shit. No one wants to play that crap. I'm sorry. But those are games that have a shit longevity cycle. They have this very big spike at the beginning, and then, boom, plummets. Because that's what's going to happen. That's what happens within this industry. That's why all of these games are services. And I'm surprised Saints Row didn't go full online. What are we doing here? This is actually kind of an old school game as far as I understand it, because it's actually not a live service, which is very surprising. But if this does well, I'm assuming that they're going to, try and emulate Grand Theft Auto Online. I am actually very surprised because they probably don't have the budget. They don't have Rockstar money. They don't have Take-Two money. But I am very surprised that they didn't at least attempt to, clone Grand Theft Auto Online. So I got to give them credit there. They pull out the wokeness. That's fine. But at the end of the day, that's their vision. That's what they want to do with Saints Row in the modern day era. But at least they didn't make a fucking online-only GTA clone. But if this does well, I'm assuming that that's where they're probably headed, because that's where the money's at. You look at the new Far Cry that's coming out, not Far Cry 6, but what's after that. You look at the new Assassin's Creed. Ubisoft has been quiet for a couple of years now. They're not putting out Ass Creed every year because they're developing this 10-year Ass Creed, live service fucking situation where it's like, hey, jump in, and you can explore ancient Greek and ancient Rome, and it's just going to be this dumbass hub shit, and that's what's happening with Skate. That's what's happening probably with the new Need for Speed, if I had to guess as well, which I don't know where the fuck that's at. So literally the industry is in shambles. I'm not even joking, bro. I don't understand how this is a multi-billion-dollar industry and there's no fucking software. And that explains actually a lot, because they're developing live service. They want you to subscribe to this idea that it's just a never-ending thing. It's like space. It's like space in the games industry now. It's just a never-ending thing. Like, oh yeah, you love this, well, we're going to give you more of it. But you're going to have to get that wallet out. And, hey, it is what it is. If it's quality, sure, we'll get it out. But at the end of the day, that's where the industry is at, and it's sad because the money isn't going into resources and things that actually matter in terms of improving the gameplay experience. No one gives a shit about AI. That doesn't fucking sell. Why can't we make artificial intelligence sexy? Why can't we why is it taboo to talk about these game mechanics? Like, bitch, this is how the game fucking operates. You know what I mean? Like, let's get sexy about AI. Let's make AI as sexy as resolution and frame rate. Fuck the resolution and frame rate. That's a dumb game to chase. Fuck that bullshit. Let's chase artificial intelligence, and let's make it actually fucking great. You know what I mean? Imagine if these games actually improved on that level. Imagine if these games actually improved on that level, and you were to be blown away by how the artificial intelligence dynamically reacts to you. But, that's not where the fucking resources are being put into. It's all about this other fucking bullshit. So that's why I'm saying these veteran game developers need to fucking quit and just make their own studio. These veteran game developers need to fucking quit and, team up with a bunch of other like-minded people and let's get the fuck out of this bullshit and let's do our own let's make the game that we wanted to make for a long time now. They have the experience. They might not have the fucking budget, but who gives a shit? Because at the end of the day, if the heart shows in the product, that's going to fucking resonate with more people than a multi-million-dollar fucking thing that's just corporate and soulless. Again, we got to recap this because no one's talking about it. It's a major problem, folks, potentially. Saints Row 2022 comes out in 6 days. Literally zero gameplay of Saints Row running on PS4 and Xbox One. The review embargo is not up until 24 hours before release. This could potentially be another Cyberpunk situation. Now, obviously, no one cares about this as much as they did Cyberpunk. But again, if it runs well on PC and PS5, or if even it has a few problems, that's not indicative of how it's going to run on PS4 and Xbox One. Again, I'm not going to say that, this is set in stone, like this is going to be automatically a disaster just because there is no PS4 and Xbox One gameplay of Saints Row 2022. However, we are 6 days from launch, like literally less than a week. Literally less than a week, folks. It comes out next Tuesday, 6 days from launch, and there is zero gameplay of this on PS4 and Xbox One. From the marketing, from the preview, media build, like none of that, it just doesn't exist on PS4 and Xbox One outside of the character creation demo, which isn't the game. That's not the game. That's just you sitting around character creation, and that's cool and all, and we're glad that the customization is back. But, I mean, is that really a selling point? Because you have to look at this and you have to say, okay, ultimately at the end of the day, shouldn't those just be kind of standard by now? Like, why are we honing in on customization? Like, we get it. Rim jobs was always wait, it's not called rim jobs anymore, is it? You know what I mean? What's it called now? Job rims? I mean, we just have to be politically safe. We have to, I don't. You know what I mean? Like, it is ridiculous. Let me see who worked on Saints Row 2. There's no way in hell. There's no way in hell that it's the same volition as when they were making Saints Row 2. Who directed Saints Row 2? Clint, okay? Clint, I can't pronounce his last name, Orso, directed Saints Row 2. Who's directing the new Saints Row? Saints Row 2022. Who's directing the new Saints Row? Can we find that information out? I guarantee you it's not the same guy. There's no fucking way. It doesn't say. Of course, you can't get that information until the game comes out, I guess. But the point is that there's no fucking way that this is the same volition as it was in 2008. There's absolutely no fucking way, bro. There's no way. There is absolutely no way that the people that made Saints Row 2, so many gamers resonated with that, bro. That's why Saints Row 2, after Saints Row 2, we thought, you know what, this could actually fucking compete with Grand Theft Auto 4. This could, let me pull up some of those old Saints Row 2 ads, because they were actually fucking great. Let me pull up some of those Saints Row 2 ads. I don't even know if you can find them on the internet, but I remember seeing them. Saints Row 2 versus GTA 4. That's what they were. They were literally going right up against it. And, of course, I can't find any of these things. But it had, some famous actor like Gary Busey or some shit in them. I don't remember totally, but I remember enough to know that they actually existed. Saints Row 2, Would You Rather. Is this it? Let me see if this is it. I think this is it. I think this is what we're talking about. Let's see if we can pull this up on the screen here. This is how you market the game. Let me see if we can get this up on the screen, folks at home. Where the hell is the window? Oh, Jesus, Lord. Oh, where are we at here? We got a big problem out here. Don't know how to work this thing. All right, here we go. We're going to pull this up, folks at home. We're going to pull this up. I think this is what I'm talking. Oh, my God, it didn't even copy it. Oh, Lord. It's a lot of work, ain't it? You know, starting to feel like the lazy millennial devs. Let's pull this up right here, folks. Control V, and I think this is what we're looking for here. Maybe not.
Would you rather go bowling or steal a septic truck and spray loads of sewage on pedestrians? Would you rather go to the cabaret with a friend or inflict serious bodily injuries to your friend to earn a little insurance money? Would you rather watch TV within the game you're playing on your TV? Or dress up like a cop and rob a liquor store? Streak in public? Join an illegal fight league? Or run security for local celebrities? Or base jump? Car surf?
See, that is how you do it. Like, they're directly going up against, now they don't care. See, that's the problem. No one has any, you know, they went right up against Grand Theft Auto 4 with that. You can quite clearly tell. You know, would you rather watch TV within the game or do something very fucking cool and fun over here? That is literally how you sell the game. Now, these days, it's a totally different ballgame because, you know, it's not as isolated as it once was back in 2008 when Saints Row 2 came out in GTA 4. But they're not doing anything to sell this on anyone. Like, I think this is just Saints Row for new fans only. You know, I mean, obviously they know the and you know, that's actually smart because they know the hardcore Saints Row fans are going to buy this out of curiosity. They know the old hardcore Saints Row fans are going to buy this out of curiosity, and they're going to be there day one. Despite them complaining on Reddit and Twitter and what have you, that they're going to be buying this shit day one. They're going to buy Saints Row day one. That I know and that I can tell you. They're going to buy Saints Row day one. The hardcore fans. They might not say they are, but they already got that shit pre-ordered. Okay, so they already know that they got them locked in. So now they're going after a potentially way bigger audience as opposed to the people that love Saints Row 1 and 2 and maybe the third and what have you, because that's a very small niche audience. So they're going after the kind of the Fortnite demographic. They're going after kind of the new modern day gamers that think this looks like, you know, greatness on a whole nother level. But really, again, you look at this clip here and I just don't, you know, maybe it was a one-time bug. But we have a problem because, again, you know, we're so close to the launch of Saints Row 2022. It comes out in literally 6 days. There's zero gameplay on PS4 and Xbox One. The review embargo is not up until 24 hours before release, okay? The review embargo is not up until 20. I know I keep repeating this like a fucking broken record, but, like, no one's talking about it. Like, how can you sit, it's like, oh, Michael, you know, get with the times, get good, and, you know, oh, Michael, get a job. Like, no one has the PS4 anymore. It's like, okay, where can you buy a PS5 outside of eBay, you know? Like, you kind of can't. It's still tricky to find. So, you know, look, if you could walk into a store right now and get a PS5 or a Series X, then that would be a different conference. That would be a totally different dynamic because it's like, okay, yeah, you know, maybe you should consider upgrading. But you literally can't. Like, you literally can't. Because they're not readily available still nearly 2 years later. So millions of gamers are actually stuck with the PS4 and Xbox One, and there's zero gameplay 6 days until launch. And that isn't going to change because everyone who has this game right now, they more than likely don't have it on PS4 or Xbox One to review because they probably didn't send out fucking codes for those versions. And in addition to that, they got to keep their fucking mouth shut until 24 hours before the goddamn game launches in 6 days. So that's literally the chess game that's being played here. That's literally what is going on. That is literally what is happening. And again, you know, I'm seeing this in the comments here. They're like, just buy a PS5. I literally just talked about that. You're not listening. I literally just talked about that. Show me where I can buy a PS5 right now. Show me where I can buy a PS5 right now. Because that's horseshit, bro. You can't just walk into a store and buy a PS5. Like, you can't. I was out in California for over a month, bro. They're not anywhere. They're nowhere to be found. You cannot find these damn consoles still, and it's stupid. But it is holding back the industry because, you know, you have to think of it like this. Okay, if Saints Row, if this game were to only come out on PS5 and Series X, whoo, you know what I mean? Whoo, it would not sell well at all because, you know, obviously it's got a smaller install base. But in addition to that, you know, do gamers really want to play this? Well, they kind of have to. I mean, really. What is coming out in 6 days that's going to compete with this? What is coming out within the relatively near future in terms of an alternative to Saints Row 2022? There's literally nothing, bro. There's literally nothing. There's nothing else out there to play. So this is coming out at a very opportune time. They can throw it out there and say, hey, man, this is where it stands. This is our new direction for Saints Row. And look, if the game is fun, and I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will have its moments. But if we're just going to sit around and grind and, shoot enemies that are bullet sponge enemies and the health bar just, I don't want to play The Division, I don't want to play Destiny. Okay, don't want to play those games. So when you're turning that experience into this, that's ultimately unfortunate with the health bars and all that. Maybe you could turn them off or whatever, but it's just ridiculous. It's so ridiculous it's not even funny. Imagine if GTA had health bars. Maybe it does. I don't know. I don't play online. But, destroy all humans too. Oh, come on, bro. Now oh my God. Destroy all humans too. You've got to be kidding me, bro. Remake, remaster, sequel. No one wants to do anything. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. You do what works, You do what works. Keep putting out the new Call of Duty. Tell me this. What is the new Call of Duty bringing to the table? Why should I buy the new Call of Duty? Dead ass. Why should I buy the new Call of Duty? When you look at these games, and they put money into this shit. They do this. What is it called? The fucking research. They literally hire people that aren't even gamers to play this game and then give them their fucking feedback. Now, whether or not they look at that feedback is a whole nother story. But you have to sell me on why I should buy this fucking game. You can't rely on a bunch of fucking YouTubers who have their cult-like followings to fucking sell the game. Because if that's the only way that you can sell this game, well, then we've got a problem. Because it shows they're not necessarily all that confident in the game. If you're running to YouTubers who are, again, the QVC influencers of the fucking modern day age, then there's not much we can do. I don't get it, man. I get it. The developers are totally separate from the marketing. I totally get that. I understand that they have literally zero control over that. That's all separate shit. Just like when, Steven Spielberg makes a fucking movie. Does he have a say on the trailer? He might. He's Steven Spielberg. But, typically in Hollywood, they make the movie's done, and then they send off the dailies to the fucking third-party PR firm. Not PR, but third-party firm, so they cut together the fucking trailer. Totally separate thing. So the way the movie is marketed between, how the actual creators feel is totally, that's totally a separate entity and this, that, and the third. But, why should we buy this new Saints Row? What is new here? What are they doing to improve the experience? I mean, I don't get it. I really don't. Why should I plug in my PS5? Why should I even keep my PS5? You know what I mean? There's literally very little reasons to even care anymore at this point. There's very little reasons to even care anymore. Modern Warfare 2 is going to be good. Well, I fucking hope. Something needs to be good. Something needs to be good, because if it isn't good, then we're going to go crazy out here. It's a simple, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. I can't just keep waiting for something great to come along, because eventually something great is going to come along. Something great is going to come along. I think the last game that was, and this is going to be, some people aren't going to agree, and that's fine. But you look at Death Stranding, and, I get it. Not everyone likes it, and I'm not a super fan of the game. I think at times it can be very tedious, and, but, it was an experience. It made you feel something. And that's what's missing, not only within this industry, but just media in general today. It doesn't make you feel something. It's soulless. It's a corporate entity. You don't come away and you don't feel anything. Now, there are exceptions, obviously. I'm not saying everything new is shit. There's a lot of old games that don't hold up well and that need to be remade and that need to be brought back so they can potentially do it better. You know what I mean? So there is a place and time to remake these games and remaster these games and do all of that sorts of stuff. But when you come out with these things and they're just soulless and they're just not where they need to be, I don't know why there's any reason to play. Guys, I'm going to see if I can find that clip that extends that train footage, but I don't know where it's at. So I'm going to have to do some digging here. Saints Row 2022. Let me see if I can find this here. I don't know where that came from, but let's see if we can. Let's just pull up ACG's video here. Let's pull up ACG because he's probably got raw gameplay on this. Saints Row, hands-on preview. Let's pull up ACG here, and let's see what gameplay he's got. Let's pull up ACG here, and let's see what gameplay he's got right here. Great advertisement, unbelievably amazing.
What's up, everybody? This is Carrick with ACG. And this is, like a lot of these kind of games, better looking at nighttime, a dramatic difference between day and night.
You know, that's why I was asking, why should we buy this game? It literally looks like Saints Row the Third. Like, it literally looks like Saints Row the Third, more so than it does the second game.
Jumping into a car and driving through the world, where it's 4 different sides, sort of offer you somewhat. Fireworks, explosions, all that stuff seems to be fairly well done in the 3D atmosphere itself. Hearing explosions behind you or to your right or to your left. Even though you have a mini-map in this game, you are actually doing a lot of battle where enemies can be called in for reinforcements, something that you get an icon on the screen.
Bro, there was nothing happening in this world.
So being able to identify not only that, but also by sound is always very welcome. High amounts of customization for your main character.
Yeah, we get it.
In this game, if you have enough of your takedown
oh
meter,
my
you can perform
God.
a takedown on an enemy, and this normally have.
Why is he? Why are we?
The boot gameplay that we've had.
Is ACG gay?
On a
Like,
car,
there's nothing wrong with that, but
like a frustrated
Jesus.
WWE camp reject, taking anger out on the world, and then drop the hammer in a suspiciously generic version of the Testarossa, by the way, and drive off, trying to lose them the entire way. And all of the cars have their very own special use cases as well. Each one of them has a special move that you can do, and a lot of them are very cool moves. I actually looked at a bunch of those vehicles and said,
why would you select that character?
One of those vehicles, there was a reason for me to actually probably want to try using that vehicle, whether it be in one of the missions or possibly one of the challenges that crops up. That just how long ago the first games came out, and then the second and the third and so on, and what systems and generations that have come and gone. Here we're looking at a reboot and seeing new fans come to the genre who've never played these original games are going to be leaping into this in a new way with new characters and trying to carve out a bit of that world for themselves with activities and challenges, and most likely someone or everyone trying to make the world's ugliest gang kingpin. Sometimes anarchy and just pure chaos, larger set pieces. Reboot isn't in the line of the last couple Saints Row games, trying to bring the gamers down to a fun, enjoyable tact that isn't superhumans and going to hell, but instead super enjoyable and raising hell. I actually look forward to playing the game for review and just seeing how it all comes together. The battles between gangs, the other takedowns.
Okay, this is really what I wanted to show you. Like, I know this is a small. Look, I know Saints Row isn't about the details. It's about, you know, this fucking playground, go in, do dumb shit, turn your brain off. I get it. It's the just cause of a GTA clone. That's essentially what it is. You just go in, blow shit up, do some dumb shit. You know, that's Saints Row. It's never been about like this, you know, it's not Rockstar where they go fucking, you know, the horse balls like shrink up when it's cold or whatever. But like, this is where I get pissed. This is where I say, if I were working at Volition, I'd slam my foot down and say, wait a minute, guys, what are we doing? It's time to go back to the drawing board. You know what I mean? Because
seeing how this game handles
it looks as if none of the NPCs actually react to what you're doing. And to me, that's a deal breaker. I'm not even kidding. Bro, if you're making an open world game and it's soulless and there's nothing to do within the open world outside of the same ass activities that we've been doing for decades, then there's no point to make it fucking open world. Just make it linear and call it a day. Because I don't want to roam around this world and feel like we're in a goddamn plastic world. You know what I mean? But it looks as if there's no NPCs reacting at all. Now, you know, again, you know, maybe it's just this clip. But, like, bro, in Watch Dogs 2, and no one wants to talk about that game because it's not sexy to talk about that game, people need to sit down with that game and look at the open world and look at what Ubisoft tried to do. Now, did they fully, did it fully come together? I don't think so. And it never will with the Watch Dogs franchise, which is unfortunate because that was a great concept. Unbelievable concept, You're a hacker. You're in total control of the city by hacking, shit around the city and what have you. And, that's a fucking great concept. And that's the problem with Ubisoft. They have great concepts, and then the execution comes into place. And it's like, well, wait a minute. This isn't as in-depth as it should be, or it's just not really all that fantastic. But in Saints Row, this is a 2022 video game. The old Watch Dogs games are fucking, came out in 2014. That's nearly a decade now. And it's just ridiculous how we're going backwards, seemingly.
Unique space in a different city. Saints Row was...
Okay, what's the point of adding in these Fortnite animations when the NPCs don't even react? In Watch Dogs 2, if I go up to an NPC and, there's multiple things you can select, they actually react based off of what you're doing. When you pull out your camera in Watch Dogs 2, they literally, it's something that the team cared about. You can fucking tell. You can fucking tell that the team that was assigned to do the world building and make it feel like a living, breathing world, they actually tried. Maybe it didn't hit that home run, but at least they came away and said, okay, we fucking tried. But when you start throwing this soulless shit at the screen and everyone's just supposed to sit there and consume and love it, I don't understand why you're putting in these animations when, the NPCs don't give two shits about what you're doing. Who cares? It's like Cyberpunk. You can roam around naked in Cyberpunk and no NPC will react to you. It's just a stupid, lifeless, empty, boring open world. I'm tired of it.
Was always one of my favorite titles, and any game jumping into that open world, gang-filled space with a good deal of humor is going to be something I will want to check out. You guys obviously know that a good deal of us are going to want to jump in there, make our own characters or different people that we know of in the game world, and I got really close to getting a Dom-looking character from Gears of War. I also made a spot-on impression of some kind of really sick, incredible Hulk, like he had jaundice or something. But that kind of stuff actually plays out live in the cutscenes in the game, which always adds that next level of humor when your character's talking back and forth with everyone, just sitting in a pool, but instead of a gang member like everybody else, you look like Abraham Lincoln if he started his own emo band. Or somehow like me, who looks like I'm Indiana Jones with a really, really awesome 1980s mullet haircut. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching the preview. You guys know I don't do these a lot of times, but I appreciated them giving me that chance. Most of the time I do reviews and that kind of stuff, but previews are something you're going to start seeing more on the channel, especially for titles like
Please
this.
react.
You guys know,
Please react. Please react. If they do not react, I am not buying this game. If they do not react, I'm not buying this game. They need to turn around. Please react.
Give it a thumbs down and stay tuned. Not only we have this,
oh! I'm done. I'm done. Come on, bro. I gotta watch this again. He pulls up. What is the point in adding in these animations when no one fucking reacts? It is the complete opposite of doing it. It's a waste of resources. Who the fuck thought that was a great idea? If the NPCs cannot react dynamically to what the goddamn player is doing, then there's no point to even go down that road. This is ridiculous, bro.
Seen more on the channel, especially
oh my
for
God.
titles like this, which you guys know I just absolutely love to cover. It's a big deal for me to cover these kind
no
of
one's
games.
reacting.
I love them.
Literally
and so
zero. I get it. They're a gang.
Video, give it a thumbs up. If
Come
you
on,
dislike
bro.
the video, give it a thumbs down. And stay tuned. Not only we have this, we got some reviews coming up.
Oh my God! It's a shooting gallery. It's literally it's no different than Pac-Man from 1976. Oh my God! Just delete the red dot. That I can't with these games, man. I can't with these games. Why are we adding in those animations where you can pull out the guitar and you can probably do some dances and shit like that? None of that even matters. It's all bullshit. If the NPCs are not going to dynamically react to what you're doing, then there's no point to add in that fucking animation. There's no point to even enable the animation because it's all fucking pointless. You just want to sit around with your guitar and go blah, 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 blah. Great. You know, I don't get it. Why do you think Grand Theft Auto 5, why do you think, look at Red Dead 2. I mean, the NPCs react. Is it perfect? No, I got problems with Red Dead 2. I think it is highly overrated in a lot of areas. But, at least there's something there. There's something there. But modern-day Rockstar, they're probably going to fuck that up whenever Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out in the next 10 years. Oh, my God, I don't have any hope.
The longest walk in the walk I have ever done. I think that walk in the walk it goes to about 8 hours. I think I'm going to split it
Oh my
into
God,
2
it's
pieces.
it's literally
And it is,
Destiny.
of course, for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So if you get a
Like
chance,
I get it, guys. It's Saints Row. It's not supposed to be fucking realistic. Like I understand that, but like there has to be a balance. And supposedly they wanted to go more grounded here as opposed to whatever the fuck they were doing with Saints Row 4 and all this other bullshit where you're fighting aliens and you're like, flying your spaceship around. You're literally, it's like Crackdown at that point. Like Saints Row 4 was like basically Crackdown, like collect the orbs. It just got so off the rails that they had to dial it back a tad bit. But like, come on, bro,
check
you
that out.
gotta
Peace out,
follow
everybody. I
through
hope
here.
You have an awesome weekend. Stay.
You gotta follow
next time.
through. Because now we're just turning this into a shooting gallery. That's literally all this is at this point. Oh my God. Guys, if there's any, I'd love to see more open world gameplay like that where they just roam around the open world. I don't want to see missions or anything like that because this is all the fucking same. You just sit around and shoot shit. Oh my God. You have to be kidding me, folks. This is just unbelievable. I mean, this is truly unbelievable, folks. Oh my God. I'm going to try and find more gameplay here. I need free roam gameplay. I don't need gameplay where they're just doing the same old fucking thing, although it seems like there's nothing else out there to do. Like, where are the like in Saints Row 2, you could smoke. You could drink. Like, you could get drunk. Like, there were things to do, bro. There were things to do. We don't want to have Crowcat come back out of the woodwork. We don't want to have Crowcat come back out of the woodwork to fucking start dissecting these old games and putting up against, these new modern-day games that claim to be so much better and this, that, and the third. Like, we don't want that to be the case. We want these new games to line up at least to their predecessors that came out. When did Saints Row 2 come out? 2008? Like, I don't even know how many years ago that was. That was like at least fucking like 20, nearly 20 years ago, 15 years ago or some shit like that. You have to be kidding me. Like, you just have to be kidding me. Like, even Lego City. Like, bro. Let me see if we can get some gameplay up on this bitch. Is there anywhere where I can get free roam gameplay? I don't want no fucking mission shit or, like, I'm tired of these cuts. I want raw gameplay. I know it doesn't exist. Because, they tell them how to, just the way it is. Let's see if this video is any good. 3 months ago. Oh, my God. I'm going to pull up another clip here. Let's pull up Skill Up here. Let's see what's, oh, Lord. Let's see what Skill Up has to say. Imagine. It's really a disgusting. It's really just, it's sad. Like, imagine. I don't even want to get into it, but.
What are you, 12? You've been using the
Oh
same
my
stink stick since high
God!
school.
What is this shit?
It's time to turn.
This video is brought to you by the brand new Apex. Won't be fixed or changed in time for launch. Later parts of the game.
We're trying to look at the gameplay here. Oh yeah, you do that shit, and then you can do the wing. Oh my God!
And I only had access to a small portion of.
We just want to see the
I was
game.
just hanging around the one part of this map at the start of the game, and that everything starts to look really different and distinct later on. But so far, Santo Alesso is absent the landmarks, burrows, and landscapes that really see themselves into.
Yeah, but the problem with doing the desert thing is that it's a fucking desert. It's a cop out. That's what that is. When you throw a desert into an open world game, it's automatically a cop out for the most part because it's a desert. In real life, there's nothing to do in the fucking desert, so they can just say, okay, there's nothing to do in the desert in real life. We'll just throw in a desert in the game and call it a fucking day. I mean, are there going to be Easter eggs in the desert? Like, San Andreas, when you go next to Area 69, there's like fucking body bags in this hole in the desert. Like, that shit's cool. Like, that shit, like, fucking is memorable. You remember that all these fucking decades later. But with this shit, and I'm not saying that's not going to be the case here, there could be some fucking badass Easter eggs. But here's the problem with today's era. All of the Easter eggs are going to be fucking spoiled before the game comes out. Literally. That's the problem. The internet has killed gaming, in addition to all of these other problems. Like, it has literally just, it has, because, you're going to be able to see all the cutscenes, the ending for Saints Row before the game basically even comes out. It's sad, but that's just the way it is. Killed movies, killed gaming, killed all of this shit, and it just doesn't help. But here we are. What are we doing? What are we doing?
4 hours worth of footage that I had just to see if I'd forgotten some really standout location, but I hadn't. Again, this may change as I get.
Oh my God, they don't even have. You can't even ride the rides, dude. Of course, the fucking fair is dilapidated and abandoned. It's controlled by the gangs. I'm done with that shit. You know, like, come on, bro. In Lego City, you can ride the rides. You can ride the train. Lego City is more advanced. Literally, Lego City is a Lego. What is it called? Lego City Undercover, bro. You can literally go to the fair and ride the fucking rides, and ride the train.
Game, and I hope it does. In terms of gameplay, bugs, glitches.
Oh God.
Shoot stuff with a controller.
Oh my God, it's literally Destiny.
Confirmed that there wasn't any missing settings or options, and they confirmed for me that no additional camera options are available. This is it. So this is a 2020 urban open world game. It's a reboot of a 2020 franchise. It's a game where a huge chunk of it is spent either shooting stuff or in a car or shooting stuff while in a car, and it's absent some pretty basic features that I don't think are unfair
What the fuck?
at this point.
Oh my
And
God.
it's absent some pretty either shooting stuff or in a car or shooting stuff while in a car, and it's absent some pretty basic features that I don't think are unfair expectations at this point. Facial and combat animations, lip sync, control. One area where fine. It's more the general gameplay, mission, or world design perspective. But if we're going to approach things from that angle, I think we first need to ask, should it be new? Like, what's the imperative for Saints Row to deliver new ideas? And the answer is, there's no imperative for that. A lot of people are going to be really happy with a formula that feels like a throwback rather than a reinvention. Personally, I'm generally interested in things I haven't experienced. That's my personal bias, and I expect that's how it's going to break here in Saints Row.
Oh my God,
people
it just looks like a template. It literally looks like a template. Bro. Look at that UI and tell me that looks sexy. Come on, bro. That shit looks soulless. It literally looks like a template. Like something that's in some fucking, I'm not a game dev. I don't know how any of that shit works, but it looks like something that's already built in, just ready for you to go. And you just put the text in there and
want another fun open world game that lets them blow up cars and murder bystanders with an attack helicopter. They're going to get what they want, but those looking for something that they haven't yet experienced are perhaps going to be disappointed. The linear missions that I experienced were all big on spectacle, but very that, but it was all very simple, almost quick time event-like with random combat segments.
Oh no.
You can also drop landmines and smoke bombs and tons of other things I wasn't able to unlock. They're on a nice short cooldown, so you can use them often, more so if you're killing lots of food.
What is with the health bar thing, dude?
But so far, Bro definitely gives you a hell of a lot to do, even in the short time I had with the game.
Okay, here's the thing with this. A hell of a lot to do. That is actually a turnoff in 2022. When you see the map littered with a bunch of bullshit, that doesn't mean it's quality, okay? Quality over quantity. Do I have to, have a seminar on how to make games, even though I've never made a game before in my entire life? Is that what has to happen here? Because it seems like no one has any fucking clue on what to do. Literally. They're not working for the gamers. They're working for the corporate entities. That's what they're working for. They're working for the fucking yes men. That's what they're doing. And everyone around them says no. So how can you say, how can you make a great game when there's no pushback in the damn office? There's no pushback. I guarantee it. They all go to soy latte at their Starbucks and they just sit around and consume. What are we doing?
Death cited 666 donated $5 through Super Chat. Wow, video game has changed for the worst.
There's just no reason to be excited anymore. We have the best technology at our disposal, literally. Oh my God, there's bugs out here. We have literally the best technology at our disposal, bro. And what are these devs doing? Literally the bare minimum. And these people are praising it. These QVC influencers are literally praising it. They're saying, well, Michael, there's a lot to do in Saints Row. No shit, there's a lot to do in every game, for the most part, especially an open world game. But does that mean it's worthwhile?
My map was already covered in mission markers. One of them was for a wingsuit stunt challenge.
Oh my
The other
God.
was as a getaway driver. The other one I had to leave bad reviews on.
Oh, you leave bad reviews. Oh, come on, bro.
App, and then gang members would try and kill me because apparently they own that taco joint. And they're just not a fan of free speech. All this stuff is.
So what if you give them 5 stars? Why is everyone... So they ally with... Oh, my God. That's all that is.
Great to play through for completionists who love the satisfaction of ticking off objectives. For co-op players who want to get...
Oh, God.
Hi. We are Woodger.
No one cares.
Get up to shenanigans with their mates, or just anyone looking for relaxed, low-stakes, cathartic explosion fests. The side quest...
Yeah, how's that going to run on PS4 when there's fucking 4 cars on the damn screen? Yeah, I mean, come on, bro. We got zero gameplay of this shit on PS4 and Xbox One, and you're telling me that it's A-okay, that all of that's going to fucking work out just fine on PS4 and Xbox One. Like, I'd love to see. I'd love to see. Because there's a reason to be skeptical right now. 6 days from launch, zero gameplay. It ain't changing either.
Really enjoyed was the one relating to the criminal ventures system. This is the one that essentially...
Bro, they're trying to take a page from Watch Dogs 2. That's what pisses me off about this game, actually, is that they're trying to copy Watch Dogs 2, and they're failing miserably. Because I will hold up for Watch Dogs 2, okay? And I know people don't like the storyline and the 3D printing bullshit, and it's all fucking, you know, they got mad about that game too. But I'm talking about the game design, the game mechanics, the NPC interact. Like, I will play that game for literally hours on end doing nothing in that game. Just walking around the city and seeing how Ubisoft tried to make this a living, breathing world. They have literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, maybe, I don't even know. They have so much mocap that they fucking did. Performance capture data right in that fucking game. The smartest shit.
You to build a criminal empire across the city, setting up a number of...
You can do this in every game.
Legitimate. This was me leaving my criminal footprint on this...
Oh, my God.
To create a really interesting means
Oh,
of
we're bringing up Watch Dogs Legion. You have to be shitting me, bro. That's garbage. That's total shit. That's what that is. Again, decent concept, shit execution, and a major, major step back from Watch Dogs 2.
Of London. Like I said, it was probably too clever by half, but there were things we hadn't seen before. Saints Row doesn't have anything like that. Red Dead 2 is littered with dynamic events that unfold in towns or by roadsides, meaning even routine routes could house new exciting opportunities to interact with the world. Saints Row doesn't have any of those either, at least not from what I could see. Like the combat, mission design, and narrative, it's pretty one-dimensional.
Why would I want to play it then? It's 2022. You can't go backwards, bro. The expectations are raising and how long have they been working on this game? They've been working on this game before COVID. I guarantee it. Oh my God.
Dimensional, and while I was having a good time some of the time, I was often thinking how much this fails to reach the bar set by similar experiences. Stuff like GTA 5, which ironically released nearly a decade ago, or Red Dead 2, or Watch Dogs Legion, or even
why are we talking about Watch Dogs Legion like that's on a fucking pedestal, bro? Like, who the fuck is this chill? Why we bring up Watch Dogs 2, dude? Look at the goddamn game. Why are we acting like Watch Dogs 2 Watch Dogs Legion was revolutionary? The system was already built in. Like, do you really want to go toe to toe with someone who's actually a fan of Watch Dogs? Because come on, bro.
Cause or even modern Far Cry games, which I think are the
whoa. Bring it up, Far Cry? Oh God. I'm done. It's all the same shit. I played Far Cry 6. Holy shit, I have not played it since. I played it when it came out. I bought it day one, you know, to show you guys how shit it was. That's what I did. So I wasted my fucking money, and I have not played that game fucking since. I have no desire to ever play Far Cry 6 again. You just roam around in your fucking Jeep and you just shoot fucking enemies. Like, there's literally zero anything to that.
To what Saints Row is aiming for, and I think Far Cry is just doing it way better. I don't think that...
What does that mean?
Saints Row is shaping up to be a bad game. I think it has lots of things going for it that are going to make a bunch of people really happy. Going into the hands-on session, I thought I was going to be one of those people, but as time went on, I realized I probably wasn't going to be. And so I kept playing to see if I could find that thing to get me excited about that August 23rd release date. Sadly, I couldn't find it during my 4 hours with Saints Row. But I'm keeping an open mind, and I'll let you know how it goes. Oh my God.
I mean, you know... That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no reason. And then you have this again. If you're just tuning in, folks, literally comes out in 6 days. Zero gameplay on PS4 and Xbox One. Millions of gamers are still with those consoles for obvious reasons. The review embargo is not up until 24 hours before release. So you factor in those three things. To me, that's a major concern. To me, that's a major concern. Is this game going to perform well on those consoles? You know, the internet will say they don't give a shit. But how many of you have a PS5? I mean, most of you are probably on fucking PC. But for those that aren't privileged, they have, I mean, even if you, had the money to get a PS5 or a Series X, you can't get one, really. Can't walk into a fucking store and get one. It's literally just crumbling. It's literally just crumbling, folks. And I don't understand how people are just satisfied with really the state of this industry. I don't understand. Oh, my God. Let's see what he had to say about Legion, because I think I fast-forwarded a little bit. I don't know why this guy's shilling Legion. That is a garbage-ass game. Like, total trash. Like, and I get it. It's Saints Row. Like, it's basically just cause of the Grand Theft Auto clones, right? We're not expecting fucking realism over here. We're not expecting simulation systems to try. But, like, come on. You got to do a little bit more than what the predecessor did. If that's the problem here, is that it's not even doing more than Saints Row 1 and 2. It's doing less, and that's very apparent. So I don't know how we can come away and say, okay, this is just okay. This is like, if this were on Game Pass day one, wouldn't have a problem with it, because then it's not $60 day one right up front or what have you. But it's not on Game Pass day one, and I think it should be on Game Pass day one. But I guess we're just gonna have to wait until that time comes. But this screams Game Pass day one. Not that Game Pass is a terrible service, but they have games on there that just fit right in with that sort of mindset. Let's see.
Are available as my tendril spread further across and around Santo Alesso. But outside of this, I was looking to see how this world might respond to me more dynamically, or more interesting ways that I could interact with it. Watch Dogs Legion, for example. Not the most fun game, but it had lots of ideas about an open world with lots of different ways to interact with it, and the ability to play as different categories of people who each had their own unique combat, stealth, or hacking capabilities. That all combined to create a really interesting means of interacting with that rendition of London.
No. Wrong. Guy doesn't know what he's talking about, okay? Come on, bro. Okay, you can play as anyone. I played the fucking game. It's about as in-depth as my fucking ass. You want to play as the grandma? Hey, she's got one new different capability. Okay, that's it. No one reacts to anyone in this game either. It's shit. That's why it's trash. These fucking people they don't know what they're fucking talking about. I'm getting really upset, okay? I'm getting really upset out here, because if you're going to show Watch Dogs Legion, just turn the fucking video off, because you do not know what you're talking about, bro. Like, you dead ass do not know what you're talking about, especially when you compare it to fucking Watch Dogs 2. It is a major downgrade. It is a major fucking downgrade in every goddamn sense, other than that fucking dumbass gimmick where you can play as anyone. No one gives a shit, because there's no difference. Because when you're playing as grandma, no one reacts to grandma on the wheelchair. They don't react. It's the problem with Saints Row that we just talked about fucking 45 minutes ago. No one reacts in Watch Dogs Legion. In Watch Dogs 2, they start reacting to what you do within the world. But in Watch Dogs Legion, there is no reaction. It's shit.
Like I said, it was probably too clever by half, but there were things we hadn't seen before. Saints Row doesn't have...
What game did he play, bro? Like, this guy is such a fucking shill. Like, it's not even a meme. Like, I know they meme about it, like, oh, shill up. Like, this guy is literally a corporate entity in the industry. Like, this guy has no soul. I don't know how he could sleep at night. I don't know how you could sleep at night knowing you're disingenuous to the whole your whole community. You know what I mean with these games? And, he has a responsibility. Millions of people watch this guy, right? Or at least, on a yearly basis, I'm sure. But you just...
have anything like that.
Like, why do we have to sugarcoat? Like, I don't understand.
The Divide donated £4.49 through Super Chat. Miss you, bro. Here we go again, another absolute mess in the gaming industry. Who is surprised? Sick to death of these scumbags. It's more than over.
Yeah, and I hate coming out here and I want to focus on great games and the positive, but when there's nothing coming out, so it's either we cover something or we don't cover anything at all. And we have a major problem here with Saints Row. Hell yeah, brother, we appreciate that. The Divide coming through with the $5 super chat. Hell yeah. Saints Row 2022 literally comes out in 6 days. Zero gameplay of PS4 and Xbox One. No one's talking about it. Literally zero people on the internet are talking about this. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy because we don't live in a world where you can walk into the store and buy a fucking PS5. They're just not available. They're just still not available nearly 2 years since the damn release. The review embargo is not up until 24 hours before the release, so keep that in mind. And why that's a big issue for those millions of people that potentially, millions of people aren't going to buy this game, but,
Red Dead 2 is littered with dynamic events that unfold in towns or by roadsides.
Okay, now we're going to start shilling Red Dead 2. Look, I love Rockstar. They were the best in the world at what they did. Many years ago. But let's not get up on this pedestal and say that Red Dead 2 is the be-all, end-all, okay? Because that's not a surprising game. They literally ripped off of Bully, The conversation system in Red Dead 2 is literally the same as Bully, okay? So there's nothing new and surprising there about how you can talk to every NPC and they react. They've already done that in Bully in 2006 on the fucking PS2, okay? Yeah, the graphics are better, great. But the gameplay and, just the slow nature of the fucking thing is just, it puts you to fucking sleep. And I get it. Like, it's a mature game. They're going to say, oh, you were filtered. It's like, no, I like Red Dead 2. I don't think it's a fucking masterpiece. I think it's one of the better games that has launched in the last 5 to 10 years. It is Rockstar, and it's like sort of the end of the old era of Rockstar because, Dan Houser's fucking gone and a bunch of other people that probably were, contributing to this project. But at the end of the day, it's woke. Like, people are saying Saints Row is woke. Well, so is Red Dead 2. Like, you have a cowboy from the fucking 1800s or whenever the fucking, it's 1800s, late 1800s. Then it goes into the, with John Marston. But you have a game, fucking Arthur Morgan, a cowboy from the 1800s talking as if he's like a fucking mod on Twitter. Like, okay, the game is shit. I'm sorry. Like, you can't. I'm done. Literally, like, this Red Dead 2 is a woke game. So if we're going to complain about Saints Row, we might as well just throw this one up on the list as well.
Meaning even routine routes could house new exciting
but
opportunities.
That's not what he's talking about here. He's talking about the dynamic systems at play in Red Dead 2, and they're not going to be found in Saints Row. Well, then what are we doing? It just seems like a tech demo. Saints Row just seems like a tech demo. Oh my God, he's showing Legion again, dude. Why is this guy obsessed with Legion? Why is this guy showing Watch Dogs Legion again, bro?
Camera remains in a fixed position. This is really annoying. As I was experiencing it, I was like, am I going crazy? Is this how most of these games handle driving cameras and I just forgot? So when I got home, I downloaded and installed GTA 5 and Watch Dogs Legion, and sure enough, they have normal cameras that just follow you, so you can just drive, rather than having to constantly massage the camera angle. I also emailed Deep Silver to confirm that there wasn't any missing settings or options, and they confirmed for me that no additional camera options are available. This is it.
Oh, so the lazy millennial devs didn't want to fucking make the camera system work. I'm done. I'm just done. It's like if we can't get simple things right, then what are we doing here? If we can't nail it down in a way that we what are we doing? Like what has this industry turned into? I literally do not understand anymore. Like I'm just starting to not understand. I'm starting to, I get it. It's Saints Row, you want to turn your brain off. Look, if I play this game, I'm skipping every cutscene. I don't give a shit about the characters. I don't even care if they fucking bring back the old characters at the end. I don't give a shit. I'm skipping every fucking cutscene because I don't give a shit about the gangs. I don't give a shit about who's doing what or why this character is mad or unhappy or what have you. I just don't care. So if I play this game, I'm skipping every fucking cutscene and I'm going straight into the mechanics. And if the mechanics aren't even satisfying, and if it is a downgrade from its predecessors, then the game goes in the Game Pass shit bin pile. The game goes in the Game Pass shit bin pile. Because that is seemingly, based off of what I've seen thus far, where it fucking belongs. Do I still have that train clip up here? This is ridiculous. Do I have that? No, I don't have that anymore, I don't think. Yes, we do. No, we don't. But the train clip from earlier is just unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable. And again, like I said, we got to just hit this home here. Comes out in literally 6 days. PS4 owners, Xbox One owners, you're left in the fucking dark. Yeah, they have that demo, but that is not the game. You know what I mean? Review embargo is not up until 24 hours before release. And again, it just screams cyberpunk. They want to control the narrative as close as they can until this game releases because they don't want people canceling pre-orders. That's why there's no demo. When Saints Row 1 came out, there was a demo on Xbox 360. When I came home from school, I was literally like, I got very autistic, okay? I got very autistic, and, we started going a little crazy because I was so excited to play that fucking, that game. And I played the demo for hours and hours and hours and hours on end. And it was fucking crazy for the time. 360, next generation at the time, brand new early on in the generation. Saints Row demo comes out. Holy fuck, you can actually do, because this was before GTA 4, this was before all of that. So, it was a pretty big fucking leap. And, it was exciting, it was fun, and it was great. You could rob the fucking stores, you could blow the train up, you could do all of this crazy shit. And it was like, God damn, now we're just doing the bare minimum. That's what we're doing. We're just doing the bare minimum here. It's not even going to live up to its predecessors in terms of kind of mechanics and features. And I guarantee you, once people start comparing the two, it's going to be a wake-up call for a lot of people. I'm not saying don't buy this game. Like, look, there's nothing to play. And at the end of the day, if they can nail the fun aspect to it, that's fantastic. But I guess, if you're expecting it to even be on the level of Saints Row 2, you're going to be disappointed. If you're expecting this game right here, Saints Row 2022, to be on the level of Saints Row 2, you're going to be severely disappointed. I can pop in Saints Row 2 right now, and there's still shit to do within that game. Like, you could fuck around in the game, and it's like fun fuck around shit. You know what I mean? I can go into the zombie minigame. Like, let's pull up gameplay from that. The fucking zombie minigame in Saints Row 2. And, I know it's like a boomer game at this fucking point, but like, goddamn, bro. Zombie 2 Saints Row minigame. Look at this right here. This zombie uprising. Bro, look at this. Look at the UI. Let me just show you this. This is going to get crazy here. The UI, okay? I know we're getting into some nerdy fucking shit, but I'm telling you, bro. Look at this. I'm going to pull this up right here, folks. Zombie Uprising gameplay, Saints Row 2. So when we go into the zombie, look at the UI. It's got soul. Like, this is just a fucking minigame, dude. This is just a fucking minigame in Saints Row 2. Dude, there's hours worth of content right there. And then you go to Saints Row over here, and it just looks so soulless. It's like template. Like, what is with this, like, color fucking scheme that it's like the Battlefield. Oh, my God, it's just bad. Look at that. It's got its own fucking music. Oh, my God. You can't expect shit like that to come into the new Saints Row, because you damn well know that it ain't going to happen. You damn well know that there's not going to be. You think there's going to be actually Easter eggs in this game? They can't even figure out how to do a fucking camera system, let alone thinking about Easter eggs. I mean, I'm not saying there's not going to be any Easter eggs. Obviously, there's probably going to be some fucking normie Breaking Bad. Like, oh, yeah, Breaking Bad. Ha, we're so cool. Let's get that viral on Twitter. Ha. It's like, can we do something that's like, look at the Saints Row 2 Easter eggs. Like, that shit's fucking, it's just like, you can tell that people made the video game. You look at these new modern day games, and it just feels like a soulless corporate entity. You can't feel the people that put their fucking hard, like, you just can't, it's hard to resonate with. It's literally hard to, these older games sort of have that homemade feeling. And the reason for this, in my opinion, is because gaming got too fucking big. Literally, gaming got too popular within the last decade or so. Obviously, it's more popular now than ever before. So, as such, you can no longer bash into the walls a bit. You know what I mean? You can no longer bash into the walls a bit as you once could in terms of making these games and in terms of doing things that were risky in the industry, because they're not only going to cancel the game, they're going to cancel the devs behind it and this, that, and the third. So you just go down this rabbit hole of just getting flooded with a bunch of non-gamers who don't even play video games because they're too busy talking about them and using them as a vehicle to promote their brand or whatever the fuck they're doing. That's the problem with this industry. You have the internet that's driving the communication force and the marketing and all this shit. And, you know, it's just like none of these games have a chance to fucking breathe, even if they are fantastic, because you got a bunch of fucking stupid idiots on YouTube putting up every goddamn fucking pixel of this game. It's like, why would I want to play the Quarry when I can watch the whole fucking thing for free on YouTube? Well, that's the problem with the game. You can no longer do those games because they're going to get fucking spoiled, and you can watch everything on YouTube for games like that. So it's just a different era. It's a different sort of beast, and it's sad. It really is sad because, you know, back in the day, and I know this has sounded boomery, but, like, you know, I'm not that big of a fucking boomer, but, like, at the end of the day, like, you know, even 15 years ago, like, it was a different ballpark. You know, not everything was up on YouTube the fucking day it came out, you know, or even before. Now everything is. Why would I want to play Saints Row when I could just fucking, like, you know, experience it on YouTube? If Skill Up is telling me, and he's a shill, by the way, if Skill Up is telling me that, you know, he couldn't find anything that is kind of like making him want to play it further, or whatever the fuck he was saying at the end of that video, well, then what are we doing? What are we doing? Why should I play the new Saints Row? They have not yet answered that question for me, or for probably a lot of other people that are on the damn fence. Why should we play the new Saints Row? We don't know. That's probably going to be their answer. We don't know why you should play the new Saints Row. Okay, it's a lot of fun. Well, there's a lot of other games that are a lot of fun as well. What makes this game unique? What makes Saints Row better than its predecessors? We don't know. Okay, well, what are we doing? You know, at least Saints Row the third and the fourth game had fucking, like, a direction. They were just going into this, like, fucking stupid ass, like, hey, we're from planet Mars, and we're going to fly around fucking, the city of fucking whatever it's called. Newport, or whatever the hell the city's called in Saints Row. Okay, I mean, you know, it's stupid as shit, but, like, you know, at least put me on a dragon and we'll fly around the fucking world. But, like, at the end of the day, when you're just going to put this out and say this is Saints Row and then not really, like, do anything new or different, like, I don't know what we're doing. That's a C+. That's a C+ at the least. You don't get anything higher than that. Maybe not even a C. A plus, but a C rather. That's a C in my grading scale. If you're going to do the bare minimum, you get a C. Anything higher up, you know, we'll consider. But if you're just going to make a new Saints Row game and not bring anything new to the table at all, then I don't understand what we're doing. You should have just remade the first game. You know what? Well, then they can't do that because they get canceled. So basically, this seems like I mean, yeah, it's a reboot. I get that, but, like, we're just kind of taking the mechanics that I don't understand. Because if like, I don't understand what we're doing. How can the developers be satisfied by just completing the task? Like, I don't understand why that's. You know, I think what it is that there's a lot of new generation developers that are in that space, and they don't play games. They're too busy on TikTok. They're too busy on Twitter. Arguing with people on there, and it culminates in their work. You know, you can see that on display in their work. You get this soulless, like, Unity tech demo looking shit. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing anymore. I mean, I truly don't. I truly don't understand what we're doing with this industry and just the software that gets churned out. You know what I mean? Just all of this. It's just hard. It's just a hard pill to swallow. It's really a hard pill to swallow. It's really a hard pill to swallow, folks. I tell you, it's so sad. I would love to, and I don't think that information is available, but I'd love to see who is, you know, I'm on Wikipedia right now, and, you know, you could see the director of Saints Row 2, you could see the producer, you could see the designers, the programmers, like you cannot, there's no way those guys are still working at Volition, like dead ass. There's no way it's the same team that made Saints Row 2. There's no way. There is absolutely no way that I mean, maybe a few people are still left, but like, there's no way. There's just no way.
First name last name donated £5 through Super Chat. It was a mistake to set Saints Row in the desert. Just sand and hills everywhere. Sonic has better level design. 100.
That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah, by the way, appreciate that first name, last name coming through. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, if you design a desert, then you're going to have to fulfill the desert, okay? You can't just throw a desert level into the fucking game and call it a day. And it's like, you know, it's a desolate area. You know, it's like, okay, gamers are going to be roaming throughout. It's like when these developers make a game these days, they don't think about the gamer. Like, they don't think about the people that may have a lot of time on their hands that are going to go through every fucking goddamn frame of this game. And as such, we need to facilitate something there for the player. You know, look, I get it. Saints Row, you know, the budget obviously isn't where it once was. You know, Volition, you know, Deep Silver is publishing this. Like, you know, who published the fucking Saints Row 2? It was THQ and Deep Silver on Linux. So, you know, I mean, I don't know anymore, man. I just don't know anymore. I don't know anymore because there's just nothing. There's literally just nothing. There's just literally, like, why should I care about any of these games that come out? Like, that is the question. And you know, a lot of these developers, like, if I don't get it. I just literally do not understand. But maybe that's my problem. Look, if Saints Row comes out and it exceeds my expectations, then sure, you know, we'll look at it. But, like, bro, am I rushing out to the store day one to buy this shit? Am I pre-ordering it right now? No. Because there's no reason to. They haven't given me a reason to buy this game. I mean, I just... I don't know anymore. So let's recap before we kind of wind this one down here. We do appreciate you guys for tuning in, tagging along, supporting the show. Saints Row 2022 comes out in 6 days, folks at home. Saints Row 2022 comes out 6 days. There's zero gameplay as of right now of Saints Row 2. Saints Row, running on PS4 and Xbox One. The review embargo is not up until 24 hours before release, okay? It's not up until 24 hours before release, so that means everyone who is playing this game right now, there probably could be some people that are watching that are playing this game right now. Obviously, they're not going to say they are, but, you know, they might be laughing at this show and saying, holy shit, you're so right, or holy shit, you're so fucking wrong. But with that said, they're not going to be able to open up their mouth until 24 hours before release when the embargo expires. And even if they do, you know, what is their narrative going to be? Are they going to sugarcoat it? Are they going to be nice just to be nice? Or are they going to call it out and say, you know what, this game doesn't bring anything new to the table. This game doesn't even do anything as good as its predecessor once did. So, you know, those are things that you just kind of have to factor in. Like, if you want to play the gimmick of, hey, I'm a video game reviewer and I'm going to be fair and balanced, then you got to come in and play that, you know, as best as you can. So, you know, that's the responsibility as reviewers. Like, you know, especially if you have an actual audience watching. Like, if you got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people watching, then, you know, I think at the end of the day, it is your duty to kind of fucking be fair and balanced, as opposed to kind of like, you know, playing favorites or, oh, you know, this guy at the fucking, my contact at this publisher was so fantastic. Well, I don't want to be critical because I don't want to hurt their feelings. You know, that's literally the shit that happens. I know that doesn't make sense to some people in here, but trust me. I felt pressured into being nice when I reviewed the games. I felt, you know, I've never gotten big games, but I gotten a few games here and there, especially back in the day, which is ironic because the channel was less popular back then. So we had less viewers, but they were willing to give me stuff because I was, you know, being less critical of games. And, you know, I felt that pressure. Because it's like, okay, you're emailing this person, they're being very nice to you, and they're saying, okay, you get early access, this is when you can show shit, this is what you can show, all of that stuff. And I'm like, okay, no problem. We'll follow the rules. We'll follow, you know, what is being presented to us. So, and it's like, okay, they gave us early access. They trusted us with this game early, not to break the embargo and all of this stuff. And it's like, okay, we kind of have to sugarcoat it a little bit. Like, we kind of have to, because if we don't, the bridge is going to be disconnected. The plug is going to be pulled. And no one wants that. So it's just one of those things. So let's recap one final time, and then we're going to end the show here. We do, again, appreciate you guys for tuning in, tagging along, supporting the show. Saints Row 2022 comes out 6 days, folks, as of this broadcast. 0 gameplay of the game running on PS4 and Xbox One. Literally 0 people talking about this. And the review embargo is not up until 24 hours until release. We hope for the best. And if Saints Row is amazing, then we'll check it out. If it gets great scores all across the board, then I'll get curious and say, hey, maybe, it's fun when you have the controller in your hand, and when you're watching it on YouTube, maybe it's a different experience. But, again, if the game isn't going to bring anything new to the table, if it's not going to be on the same level of its predecessor, previous Saints Row games, then I don't understand why anyone would actually want to buy this unless you're totally new to the franchise. Again, if you're totally new to the franchise, if you've never played a Saints Row game before, I think this is the perfect time to jump in. And I think that's what they're basically saying. They're basically saying this is a reboot. It's an all-new Saints Row experience. And I get that. I understand that. But again, if we're not going to bring anything in that separates it from other open-world games, or even does it better than what it accomplished in its previous titles in the franchise, then I don't really see the appeal here. I don't see the compelling reason to go out and buy this in 6 days. But maybe that's just me. So with that said, we do appreciate you guys for tuning in, tagging along, supporting the show, and we will see you later. It's over.